Hey guys, today we're going to be using this palette right here, which looks like it's got sort of a pixelated eye on it. It is the new Nars Wanted Eyeshadow palette, and it's very pretty. While the warmer pinky tone shades are very enticing and will draw you in, which is probably why a lot of people bought this eyeshadow palette in its limited edition, we're going to be sticking to sort of this side of the palette today. So if you want to know how I created this eye look right here, then please keep watching. First things first, we're going to prime our eye with some Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I've been loving this for an eye primer lately, and I'm going to continue to use it. So, I'm just going to take the applicator and swipe some on the lid, and then I'm going to take a flat brush and smooth it out. This is a trick you can do if you don't have eyeshadow primer yet, or if you just prefer to use concealer. That way you don't have to have an extra product. I'm totally going to butcher the names of the shadows in this palette, but I believe I am taking Biarritz. I'm taking that really pale shade in the palette. I'm just putting this all over, above the lid, and a little bit onto the lid as well. Putting the powder over the concealer is going to help set it in place. On my channel I use a lot of high-end and drugstore products, so you'll definitely see a mix of that in my tutorials. Then we're going into Seven Heaven on a fluffier brush, and we're going to focus that in the crease. This is more of a warm tone eyeshadow palette, but I wanted to do a look that was a little more traditional, a little more wearable for the everyday. Not that it's super everyday, because not everyone wears winged eyeliner every day, but you know what I mean. I wanted to use colors in the palette that necessarily may not be the first ones you're drawn to. I think when you buy an eyeshadow palette, you want to figure out the best way to get use out of all the shades, and I like to try to do that. I like to try to grab some of the shades that I wouldn't necessarily be drawn to right away and use them. And I'll drag any extra I have up towards the brow bone. Now I'm going to go into Shadow Hill on a Morphe E18 brush. We're going to focus that lower in the crease. Yeah, there we go. I will be coming out with a review of these eyeshadows in the future as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Normally I put my reviews out before my tutorials, but I thought I'd mix it up a bit and put the tutorial out first. I feel like this shade would make a really pretty bronzer as well. Not that I would use this small pan to do that, but could even bring some down here as well. But we are going to put some more concealer down before applying the lid shades. Soften that a bit. Ooh, what is on my blending brush? Fluffy. Fluffy. Fuzzy. Of course there's shimmer all over it, so I am getting shimmer in my crease, but that's from doing this other eye. I'll take a tiny bit of Seven Heaven on here. Is that what it's called? Seven Heaven. Yep. I'm going to sweep some up and in with this one on the blending brush, just very lightly. Like I mentioned, we're going back into the concealer, and we're going to create a really nice flat even base again, just for the lid shades. So don't take a ton, and just grab that flat brush. You could use your finger, and there we go. That way if you got the crease shade on your lid, this is just going to clean it up. I love using this brush for this, and it's super cheap. Going back into that shade that I can't really pronounce, and just putting that over the concealer again to set it in place. This technique can also make your lid look a little bit bigger, so if you have smaller eyelids, this may be the way to go. Now we're going to grab Fallen Star on a typical eyeshadow brush. This is a Makeup Geek one, and we're going to press that pretty green gold shade, not all the way on the lid, but sort of in the center and towards the outer edge. You could wet it, and that would probably prevent some of the fallout that I'll be getting, but I wanted to be no fuss with this, and if you really wanted to just avoid any fallout in general, meaning getting shadow on the lower part of your face, you could do this before you put on the rest of your face makeup and then wipe it away with a makeup wipe. I love this color. It's so pretty. It's a green, but it's not so green that it's in your face. It's not like Christmas green. And then whatever's left over, you can sort of sweep onto this inner part of your lid. I'm going to wipe off that brush and go into Delirium and pop that right next to it. This would also make a great everyday eyeshadow color. All over the lid, this would be really pretty. Then just to brighten it up, I'm going to take a little bit of Satisfaction and pat that over it. Just a tiny bit, not too much, because this shade isn't as shiny. And with the Morphe E36, we're going to go into Lala and put that on the outer corner. Blend it into that green shade. Now we're going back into Satisfaction on a smaller brush, focusing that in the inner corner and under the brow as a brow bone highlight. Now Shooting Star is where you may run into a little bit of trouble because it is so glittery, but I felt like the eye needed a little bit more to make it a little sparkly. I don't know. I felt like it needed a little extra something, so I'm going to pat that right in the inner corner. Just adds that beautiful shine that it did have shine, but not that sparkle. Now for eyeliner, we're using something much less expensive than the eyeshadow palette itself. We're using some eyeliner from e.l.f. This is in the shade Coffee. It goes really well with one of the shadow shades in this palette. And start working it in a straight line. I feel like I can't talk when I do my eyeliner or else I'll really mess it up. Now I'm going to go into Coconut Grove and I'm going to set that down. This is that shade I was talking about. Sort of like a blackish brown. It's not super dark, but it's also not a really warm brown, so it goes well over this. I like to do this over my eyeliner because it keeps it on longer and it also softens it so it doesn't stand out as boldly against the shadow. Now I'm going to use this eyeliner I got for Christmas. It is from Marc Jacobs. It's the Eyeliner Matte Gel Crayon, and this is in Earthquake. And I'm going to put that in my waterline. Make a really cute face while doing it. These last on your eyes like crazy. So funny just to think using an e.l.f. eyeliner and now I'm using Marc Jacobs. This look is so high-end and affordable all over the place. And then Coconut Grove is going to go right in this outer corner here. Now I'm grabbing some Fallen Star, popping that right in the middle, that green shade. So pretty. And then back into Delirium, we're just sort of mimicking what we did on the upper lid. Grab some Satisfaction and put that on top if you like. Pop on some of that Shooting Star, which is that really glittery shadow, which I'm getting everywhere. Jab, Elise. And then with Shadow Hill, we're just going to drag that underneath everything. You could use whatever mascara you'd like to use. I'm just using the Covergirl Peacock Flare Mascara. I'm pretty much using that till I run out of it. And wiggle that onto the lashes. Here is the finished eyeshadow look using the new NARS Wanted palette without using the warm tones. If you want to see a look using the warm tones, let me know and I will definitely do that for you. Thank you guys so much for checking out this eyeshadow tutorial using this new NARS palette. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave a comment. I usually don't say that till the end of this video, like way at the end, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone. Maybe it will now be on your wanted list. I try to be funny. It sometimes works. Are you eating Tostitos? Are you interrupting my filming? Could hear you eating the Tostitos out there. Yeah, could hear the bag.